strictly for the culture. Brothers and sisters, you have seen the t-shirts, the hats, the hoodies, the mugs in the hands of some of your favorite pro wrestling stars, podcasters, and influencers out there. And now it's time. Visit strictlyfortheculture.ca and you too can be part of the movement. Bigger than sweatshirts and commercial success, Strictly for the Culture aims to build with like-minded people and elevate their position in the world through knowledge, self-love, and a desire to unite. So what are you waiting on? Visit strictlyfortheculture.ca. Do it for the love. Do it for the knowledge. Most importantly, folks, do it strictly for the culture.
Locked in.
Look at what we have here, folks.
To the only show that matters.
The cream of the crop.
Duke loves wrestling.
And there is no one that does it better than
your host.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
The Duke.
And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Brothers and sisters, welcome back. Welcome back to another wonderful edition of the Devon and the Duke podcast. It is a limited edition podcast hosted by your main man, Duke Loves Wrestling, and of course, the Hall of Famer, one of the greatest of all time, and a man who he's on the road right now like an outlaw, Devon Dudley. What's going on there, Devon?
Nothing much, just doing the normal things, picking up kids from school and got the baby in the back, so you might hear him go off a little bit, but just so you know that.
Listen, man, I'm telling you, Daddy Daycare, bro. That's gonna be. We got to put that on a T-shirt or something, man. That's Devon Dudley.
So many people, they go, man, 7 kids, but what they fail to understand is I had the first 4 in the very beginning, so they're grown now, the first 4. So now I got the 3 little ones, and I enjoy it. I don't hinge at, having babies, them crying and all of that. I love it. Soothing them down, making sure they're okay, looking at their little faces when they see you and knowing that, the security that they feel when they're with you. That's what I love the most about having kids. If I was 10 years younger, I would have 5 more.
Wow. That's something. That's a tall order right there. Do you remember that movie, 3 Men and a Baby?
Yes.
Whew. That's what I think about.
I also remember the controversy that came along with it, with supposedly the spirit of the little boy hiding behind the curtain. You remember that?
Oh yeah. Good point. They
all thought. I mean, I never ever found out or realized if anybody thought that was legit or not, or maybe they put it in the movie just to add controversy to it. But I remember that went on for a long time. People kept saying that there was a spirit of a little boy that the camera captured hiding behind the curtain of the house during that time.
Wow,
that's what I think of when I hear about that movie.
Now, for any of you younger folk out there, 3 Men and a Baby was literally one of the biggest movies of the 80s. And ironically, not only did it do well in the movie theaters, it did even better when it came out on VHS because people had the VCRs so you could watch it at home and what have you. But it was a movie where legitimately you had 3 guys who were raising a baby together as friends and what have you. And it was just hijinks. It was a family movie, a comedy, but very, very popular. When I think of Devon, especially with the baby, I think of that movie. There it is. There it is. Now, do you have the little strap where the baby can basically be strapped to your chest and you can walk around without having to hold the baby?
Yes, I do, actually. I do have that. I don't have it with me, but I do have one. I definitely do have one. I go through the mall and, some people will recognize me and they see me with the baby on my chest. And they're like, oh, Devon, that is so cute. I'm like, oh, well, thank you. Thank you very much. I love it when a man has a baby and he shows that he's being a daddy. I was like, okay, here we go. So it really does work.
Unbelievable. Now tell everybody again, how tall are you and about how much you weighing these days?
Well, I'm 6'2", 226 pounds. I went from 285 to now 225. I dropped a lot of it because of the DDP yoga. Um, Talking to Dallas, learning about foods, things that I thought was good for you, even when you're supposedly dieting, things that you thought were good for you and wasn't bloating you or adding unnecessary calories to you, they are. And I didn't know that until I started reading up on the foods and stuff, and I realized that the dieting that I was doing and that everybody else is doing is wrong. You know, certain foods that you think are not hurting you and this and that, they are hurting you. Um, and once I stopped and started doing it the right way, the weight just started dropping. I don't care who you are, how many times you work out. If you don't put the right food in your body, you can work out 1,000 times a day. It's not going to do you any good. You're still going to get that bloated feeling. You're not going to lose the weight that you want, and you're still going to look like you don't want to look. You know, you're going to be disappointed. And it's not the diets don't work. It's how you eat and what you put in your body.
So that's a good transition here. Let me ask you this, because I know we talked about what you would eat for dinner and things like that. But here's a question that I know folks are curious about. What do you have in between meals? Like if you are snacking on anything, what's your go-to snack?
Like I'll have like a handful of almonds, um, things like that, protein bars in between, protein shakes, things like that. And believe me when I say it, it's boring as hell. Ain't nothing fun about it, but I do it. I had the back surgery. Um, Even though the back surgery was a success, the pain that I was feeling was still bad, to the point where I could barely walk at times. And getting used to the titanium bolts and screws in my back was very hard at one point. Um, Scar tissue being built on top of scar tissue, that was what was really holding me back. So the yoga was actually really working. When I called Dallas and he was telling me how to do it, it was great. And then I started working with Bobby Fish, a former NXT superstar. Basically, he's certified in the DDP yoga. And I called him up. I said, "Can you help me?" He goes, "Absolutely." Me and Bobby have been friends ever since. It was like a little bit, like maybe a week or two right before WrestleMania. Um, I started doing the yoga, and it changed my life tremendously. Now I see what was going on with Scott Hall, um, Jake the Snake Roberts, Butterbean, and all the other people that were a success story from doing the yoga. I mean, I can't begin to tell you how much this has changed my life.
Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Once again, shout out to Diamond Dallas Page. Shout out to Bobby Fish. I know Bobby Fish just recently put together a new faction in MLW with C.W. Anderson and Brock Anderson and Brett Ryan Goslin. So shout out to Bobby Fish, still making it happen in the ring as well. But, a guy who's certified in DDP yoga, great trainer and what have you. Again, Diamond Dallas Page, he changes lives for the positive. It's a beautiful thing there.
He really does. And the thing about it is, I used to have, like, right before WrestleMania, I was kind of like embarrassed because I went to WrestleMania limping because I was in so much pain and things like that. And, it was very noticeable, even with the match that I had at the ECW arena with me and Bubba versus Onita and Dreamer. It was very noticeable. And so I basically was, telling Bobby and Dallas, I really want to get rid of this limp. I really want to make sure that people don't see me as like a handicapped person. And not that anything wrong with it, but I'm not used to people feeling sorry for me. I'm not used to people going, "Oh, Devon, he's messed up." But I basically wanted to get rid of this limp. Again, I didn't want to feel like I was handicapped or people feeling sorry for me. So I busted my behind 3 to 4 times a day doing this yoga. And like I said, it really paid off. So, no more limping, no more asking for wheelchair assistance, getting off a plane because sitting down for long periods of time would fire it up. Everything is just normal again for me, and it's great. I'm able to play with my kids now, run around, do things. I mean, God, I cannot put over this yoga enough to tell you how happy and satisfied and that I am.
I love it, and I'm so thankful that you've been able to get your mobility back, and the fact that you are basically preaching the gospel of DDP yoga. I think that's really, really cool. So again, shout out to all the folks involved with DDP yoga, especially Diamond Dallas Page, especially Bobby Fish. It works. It works. We got to get Dallas on the show sometime to talk about a little bit more, because with the holidays coming up, that would be a great gift to give folks in your life. Subscription to DDP yoga, everyone out there. So keep that in mind for sure. But you said something about the titanium in your back, and I want to ask you about this. Does that go off at the airport, Devon? I mean, how do you handle stuff like that?
No, it doesn't. Surprisingly, I thought it would have, but it doesn't. Every even overseas, because overseas their detectors are very sensitive, and it doesn't go off there.
That is very, very interesting. So they don't hold you up, they don't stop you up, and got to use the wand and none of that stuff, huh?
No, I usually get detected from my watch or my belt.
Wow, wow, that's interesting. That's really interesting. My mother, she had an ankle injury, broke her ankle last year, and she had to have a plate and I think 6 screws put in her ankle. And that's something that she's still wondering about. Next time she goes to travel, is this thing going to be going off? So, that's good news that you got it all in your back and it ain't going off. So that's good news right there, man.
Exactly. They don't. I mean, it's like I said, night and day, man.
Wow. Wow. That's something. Speaking of night and day, main event Jey Uso. This guy has been on a tear um, during his entire singles run, and he's been rewarded generously now. The man is now the Intercontinental Champion. He just defeated Braun Breaker on Raw this past week. What are your thoughts on main event Jey Uso rising to the occasion? And now, basically, he's just one step below being the world champion.
Very, very happy for Jay. I worked with Jay when Bubba and I returned back to the WWE under the Vince regime, and it was an honor and a pleasure to work with both of them. Um, and I've said this numerous times. Their father Rikishi helped me out so much during my tender in WWE when me and Bubba first came there the first run, and then of course just over the years. He kept me calm and cool, him and Farouk, uh, during the whole Reverend Devon, when things weren't going right. And, telling me to keep my head up and, don't worry about it. It's going to be okay. Him and Ron basically helped me out tremendously. So when we came back to WWE for that second run, and I remember talking with them and I told them about that, because they kept saying thank you for helping us out and helping us try to get to that next level. And I told them, I said, listen, as good as your father was to me, it's only fitting that I can return the favor. As much as I can do to help you guys get to that next level, I'm going to do no matter what. It was because of your father that kept me sane during that whole Reverend Devon thing. And I can only do, all I can do is repay the favor back from helping you guys. So again, I'm very happy to see Jay actually really go off during his single run and really take it to that next level, because a lot of people can't do that when you've been in a tag team for so long. It's kind of difficult. It's like an uphill climb that you're going to try to make, and he's done it. He's reached the top. He hasn't gotten to the world championship yet, and I say yet, but he's on his way there. Congratulations, Jay. I'm very, very happy for you. And again, nothing but the world, and the sky's the limit, my brother.
Sky's the limit indeed. I mean, hey, at the rate he's going, there's no reason why main event Jey Uso can't be WWE champion someday and in the not too distant future, because he's moving that merchandise as well, man. The fans are really getting behind this whole Yeet stuff, and he's over. And it doesn't hurt that mommy has been showing him some attention, huh?
I think anytime mommy shows anybody attention, that's a good thing.
That's a real good thing. That's a real
Boy,
good thing. It's funny you mentioned Rikishi, and he's been very active online and on his own podcast, sharing his thoughts on what's been going on, the good, the bad, and the ugly, so to speak, and very opinionated. But those are his kids, so of course he's going to speak up and get in and share how he feels things should be. And the guy is a Hall of Famer, so he should be allowed to do that, of course. But he put out something last week where he tweeted that he's asking everybody for prayers for Jimmy Uso. Please pray for Jimmy, pray for my son, and what have you. And didn't give any more details beyond that, and certainly doesn't have to. But something strange happened where some of these tabloid dirt sheet goofball humanoid bastards, um, they, including the folks over at Fightful in particular, they said they reached out to WWE, and WWE said, "Oh, well, Jimmy Uso's fine," and so essentially trying to contradict, or trying to make it seem like they're contradicting Rikishi. The man asked for prayers for his son. Now, I'm not going to believe a dirt sheet over the father of somebody. I don't think the dirt sheets are going to know what's happening with your kids more than you do, Devon. So, what's your take on this whole notion of the dirt sheets acting as if there were a problem, WWE would actually tell them anyway?
well, my thing is leave the man alone. You guys are fucking like leeches, man. Leave him alone. Damn. You know, I mean, if he's having issues, then let him deal with his issues on his own. Stop trying to put his business out in the street. This is what I don't understand about these people. Now, take them for instinct. Let something bad happen to them or something controversy in their lives, and they want to keep it hush hush, and then let somebody leak their problems. They would be going off. Leave the man alone. Whatever he's dealing with, he's dealing with. Let him deal with it on his own, with him and his wife and his family. Rikishi, all he said was, pray for my son. Why can't you just do that as opposed to putting your nose where it doesn't belong? This is what makes people upset about you guys, because you guys don't get it. All you're trying to do is write a story, get people to go to your page or your site or your whatever you're doing it on it. All you're trying to do is get them to go on it, so that way you get more views or what have you. Leave the man alone. Think about what you're doing before you do it. Because I tell you, karma's a bitch, whether you think so or not. It doesn't have to be, with your business or anything like that being put in the street, but it can be coming somewhere else. So, grow the hell up, man.
Grow the hell up. I love it. All of you dirt sheet tabloid bastards, grow the hell up. Absolutely. And listen, Jimmy Uso, Rikishi said, pray for my son. Been praying for you, brother. Simple as that. No matter what is happening, good, bad, or indifferent, praying for you. Can't wait to see you back in that ring doing what you do best, which is being one of the greats. Because in my opinion, the Usos, without a doubt, are one of the greatest tag teams of all time. And it certainly helps that they had folks like the Dudley Boys, the New Day, Cesaro and TJ, and you can go down the list of all the wonderful tag teams that these guys were able to be in the ring with and put on classics with. And you're cemented, brother. Jimmy Uso, you and Jey Uso are cemented. You are part of history, a major part of history. You have continued the tradition of tag team wrestling. So make no mistake about it. When you come back, the applause is going to be tremendous for you, because we respect you and we appreciate you. And again, all you dirt sheet writers out there, mind your business, like Devon said. Just pray for the man, like the man's daddy said, please. My goodness. My
That's it,
goodness.
Jimmy. My prayers and thoughts are with you, whatever you're going through in your time of need. I know God will be there and answer all your prayers. Forget what all of these idiots out there are saying. Know that there's a friend in God, and that's all you need. You and your wife get through whatever you're getting through. Remember, I'm only a phone call away. God bless you, my brother. You stay strong and healthy.
Damn right. Damn right. Speaking of strong and healthy, I got to tell you, man, are we at a point yet where we've seen the peak of Rhea Ripley, or do you feel she still has some more levels that she can reach at this point?
I still think she has more levels. I don't think she's been actually tapped into everything that she possibly can do. She surprises me every time she gets in that ring, whether it's her wrestling ability, whether even if it's her backstage stuff, um, how she is. It just seems so real. Some of her facial expressions when she's annoyed or when she's happy, it really comes off genuine and really funny sometimes, good, very dangerous. And when I say dangerous, I mean you don't want to mess with mommy. You know, it's one of those things where I think she hasn't reached her full potential yet, and I think it's coming. It's only a matter of time before Hunter really taps into that and let her really fly.
Indeed, indeed. I mean, legitimately, she could end up going down as the biggest star in women's wrestling history, and one of the biggest stars, period, in wrestling history. Because the pop, even on Raw this week, the pop that she gets is so tremendous. I mean, people are really buying into her, and they're behind her 100%, man. I mean, they love her.
I
You
mean, it
know,
doesn't help to, she's a very beautiful girl. That's one. Number two, she looks great. She presents herself great. And even with that gothic look, a lot of people don't look good when they present that gothic look. People look at them and go, "What the hell is wrong with these people? Who the hell hurt them?" But Rhea Ripley is the opposite. She looks great with that gothic look. I think it's her. It's a part of her, but she made it not look strange, not look weird. She made it beautiful. She made it sexy, appealing. She did it all with that gothic look, and I'm very happy that she was able to do that.
absolutely, absolutely. Feel the same way. And like you said, man, I think she has more levels to go, which means there's a lot more money to be made with somebody like that. She's the real deal, man. She's the real deal for sure. Um,
Absolutely.
were you able to catch this promo exchange that Cody and Roman Reigns had on SmackDown? They were down at the Georgia Tech uh, college, and they were on the football field, and it was about a 7-minute exchange between the two of them. But it was cinematic with the way that it was shot. It was so tremendous and unlike anything we really have seen in pro wrestling, not just WWE, but in pro wrestling itself. It was almost like watching a Netflix show or even a movie, just crisp and clean and interesting and engaging, building on this storyline feud between the two of them, even though right now they're partnering up with each other to go against the bloodline. Were you able to catch that there, Devon?
I saw the last 3 to 4 minutes of it. I definitely thought everything you just said was right on point, cinematic, everything. I also like the part when, Roman said, "You're in my way." You're in my way. He kept saying that. And then, Cody steps aside and Roman takes that deep breath in and then lets it out. And then he's kind of like, okay, it was like that moment where you saw like somebody should have won an Oscar there. I mean, it was so damn good. And I say that because for pro wrestlers, we're not looked upon as being good actors or anything like that. I mean, of course, what we do in the ring and how we present stories, yes. But when you go to that part of the wrestling business, we're looked upon as being a joke in a sense. And there's no way those two could have been looked at as upon as a joke, the way they handled that. I thought it was great. I thought they really had that feeling, that the realism of it, and it made me as a fan want to see this match and see them actually tag up and see what's going to happen. I was really hooked.
Yeah, same, 100%. That's the sort of thing that you could show to somebody who is not a quote unquote wrestling fan, a quote unquote WWE fan, and they will be like, "No, I want to watch this." You know,
Yeah,
it crosses over. It
it
crosses
was.
over, and it's exciting.
Yep, it was that good. It really was.
So one of the interesting things going on right now, Devon, is the NFL season has been tremendous. You know, so many games decided by one touchdown or less, and we're only 3 weeks into the season. But this has been one of the more even seasons for NFL football that we've probably ever seen. So what's your take, man? I mean, what do you attribute that to? That so many games are going down to the wire, and the ratings are through the roof as a result of that. Why do you think there's so much parity in the NFL right now?
Well, I think the teams are evenly matched now. I think that has a lot to do with it. Remember, the NFL, there was a lot of teams that weren't weren't good. And I hate to say it, but they really weren't. And it was only a selective few that were. It was the same teams all the time. The New England Patriots, sometimes the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm a Jet fan, so I'm raving right now. I'm loving it right now. Aaron Rodgers doing a great job as a quarterback. I hope that we can get some years out of him that we can, because at 40, it's hard in the NFL, but I hope we can get some years out of him that we could probably make it to a Super Bowl. If not, take a Super Bowl. I hope. But again, but again, I'm just very happy that the NFL is back, and I hate it because when you said 3 weeks, every time I look at the NFL every season, and I'm like, oh man, we're in our third week, and then it just goes by quick, real fast after that. So I'm loving this season. I hope it takes its time and and doesn't get to the 16th week that early. And I'm just praying that the Jets make it to the Super Bowl at least. I know they'll make it to the playoffs. As long as Rodgers stays healthy, I'm good with that. But again, I just think it's a lot of teams that are evenly matched, and they're really doing good. They're pouring their heart and soul out this year. Not saying that all the years before that isn't the case, but right now it just seems like the NFL is on fire.
Absolutely, they're knocking it out of the park. I wonder, because I'm a fantasy football guy. I have a couple of groups of friends. One group of friends I've known since middle school, and we've had a league for years and years, and we still talk trash and play with each other for fun. And then a buddy of mine who I've known since kindergarten. He has a league that I've been playing in the last couple of years, and same thing, just really been having a good time. Do you do the fantasy football at all, Devon?
No, I don't. Unfortunately, I would love to get into it. Somebody needs to teach me how to do it, but no, I don't get into it.
Okay. All right. So everybody listening right now, let's make this a thing. We're gonna invite Devon to some fantasy football leagues so he can learn how to do it and have some fun playing and what have you. It's real easy, man. You get to pick your quarterback. You literally draft a team. You draft your offense and then you pick a defense, and you draft your bench as well. And then every week you just decide who's going to start, who's going to sit, and you play against different people in your league, and whoever has the most points, they win. Whoever doesn't, they lose, and you just go through the season that way. It's what I love about it, though. It keeps me engaged in the league itself because your players are all from different teams. You know what I mean? So you end up keeping track of the scores from all the different games going on every week because you got somebody on basically on every team or close enough to it. So I say that mixed with the sports betting is why the NFL is so consumed now. It's everybody is just engaged in it because of those two mediums in particular.
Right. Well, I mean, again, I can't stress enough. It's on fire right now. I'm enjoying this NFL season more than I have any other season. So I'm just hoping again. I keep saying that. I hope my Jets make it. Listen, we ain't been good since '69. So since Joe Namath. So we thought we had something with Sanchez. We thought we had something. We made it to the AFC Championship and lost. And ever since then, it's been a curse. So I'm hoping and praying that the Jets pull one out. Listen, I'm hoping to make it to the Super Bowl at least before I die.
We got to make it, baby. We got to make it. Come on now. We got to make it. So, we'll see what happens. If anyone can do it, though, Aaron Rodgers, certainly one of the greatest of all time. Absolutely. If anyone can do it, it's got to be him. So we'll see what happens there. Something funny happened a couple weeks back, and I didn't ask you about it, but we're going to go there, Devon. And for all you folks out there listening, if you have kids who are listening right now, you may want to tell them to go to the other room because we're going to talk about some adult stuff right now real quick. Speaking of the NFL, we have the Hall of Famer, Shannon Sharpe. Shout out to Shannon Sharpe. He has his two shows now, two podcasts, Club Shay Shay, and that's his main podcast feed on YouTube and something that he puts a lot of time and effort into. He had that excellent interview with Cat Williams, which was awesome. Went viral. I think it's like the most watched interview in YouTube history because of all the great things that was said on there, and a lot of truth was told there, which is pretty cool. So he has that, and then he has his show with Ocho Cinco, Chad Johnson, which is a whole other level of something where these guys they just start cutting up, man. They're always talking their stuff together there. So the combination of the two, really, really great things that Shannon Sharpe is doing, and he's showing what's possible, life after sports and what have you. Club Shay Shay and Nightcap, those are his two shows. So again, shout out to Shannon. But something interesting happened there where Shannon somehow, some way, ended up going live on Instagram. So he claims that he threw his phone on the bed, and somehow, some way, it turned on Instagram Live. And unfortunately, he was, or fortunately, however you want to look at it, he was engaging in some adult activities, let's say. He had a lady with him, and they were doing their thing, and we couldn't see anything, but we certainly could hear what was going on. And afterwards, he went on air and apologized and say he didn't know that his phone had cut on, and people were calling him and telling him, and he was so mortified. He said he lost a couple of endorsements because of it, because he's supposed to have this clean image and all this other good stuff and what have you. But on the flip side, he's been selling these damn Viagra-like pills, as a result of that too. So at least he can say the product works. But I want to get your take on this, because this is kind of funny here. Have you ever been in a situation where your phone cut on by accident? And if so, how did that go? It doesn't matter what you were doing or what was said or anything like that, but just from a general standpoint, have you ever had a situation like that where your phone was doing something that you didn't want it to be doing, and you kind of found yourself having to explain yourself after?
Absolutely. I mean, look, me and the guys, this was like maybe almost a year ago in the gym, waiting for one of the other guys to come in. We were working out, and somebody told me about a site that they saw on Twitter. So, we go, I was like, I never heard of it before. They showed me. I was like, oh, wow, interesting. And it was an adult site. And I started scrolling up and looking at it. Yeah, I was interested. I'm an adult. It wasn't like it was kid porn or anything like that. So I'm scrolling up, and I didn't realize I was pressing the like button in the process of it. So of course, the idiots out there saw it and was like, "Oh my God, Devon liked this," and basically, then it was like I was trending on Twitter for liking adult content. I'm like, it was an adult. Like, what the hell is wrong with you people? I'm an adult. If we want to sit around and joke around and somebody wants to show me, then fine. We were doing it in the freaking gym. It was harmless, and it was a mistake in terms of liking it. And of course, people are like, oh yeah, right, you liked it by mistake. I wasn't sitting up there trying to do it on purpose, you know. But again, but it blew over. It was nothing really bad. I mean, in terms of people really, down on me for it. But, it was like, okay, so what? Big deal. The like button was pushed on something that was an adult thing. I'm an adult. I'm allowed to do that if I want to, and people just took it left. So my thing is, can it happen? Absolutely. Now, do I think he should have lost endorsement deals over that? No. Come on, guys. He's a grown man having sex with a lady that was consensual, and his phone happened to turn on, and you heard it. What is the big deal? You're gonna act like you've never had sex before with somebody that was consensual? Give me a break. For him to lose sponsorships over that's ridiculous. It was a mistake. So what? It wasn't like he was doing something illegal. It wasn't like he was raping the girl or anything like that. He had consensual sex with someone. And it just so happened that his phone, was live, and I think people, going in the uproar of that's just ridiculous. It really
I
is. So
agree. I agree. I agree 100%. It's consensual relations between adults. So what? You know what I mean? And hey, listen, give those folks a round of applause. That's what I say to that. Shannon and whoever the lady was, it was what it was. But this is interesting. I mean, one of the things that go hand in hand, because pro wrestling is literally universal. Everyone has a pro wrestling story, even if you're not currently a quote unquote wrestling fan. You remember seeing wrestling, folks. You know that everybody has at some point in their life. But a lot of porn stars are wrestling fans, and some of them have been in the wrestling industry because of how big of a fan they are. Um, who would you say you were most surprised or appreciative of that you found out they were a wrestling fan and they come from that adult entertainment world, so to speak?
Jenna Jameson.
Oh yeah,
We happened because we did things with her in ECW, where she was like our manager against PG-13, I think it was, and we had a good time, storyline wise and everything. It was in Fort Lauderdale at the War Memorial Auditorium, and we did a couple of skits and all that. We had a great time. It was great. We made people laugh, and the whole nine. We laughed, and it was a great time. So never knew Jenna Jameson had liked pro wrestling, but shout out to Jenna. If she ever wants to come back in the ring and manage the Dudley Boys again, come on down.
I love it. You always got to get that plug in. I love it. And listen, for all of you out there, get your mind out of the gutter. Devon already told us earlier he got the baby with him, so it sounds like he's burping the baby. So I don't want to hear no nonsense out of it. What's Devon doing as he's talking about Jenna Jameson? All I hear is slap, slap, slap. What's going on here? This ain't a Club Shay Shay situation, folks. Don't worry.
Yeah, no, I'm burping my son. He had just got finished eating, so if I don't burp him, he'll lose his mind. Let me tell you. But any baby would lose their mind if they don't get burped after they eat. So
exactly. And listen, you didn't even have to tell me. I knew what was going on, so I'm just letting the folk, because these folks, they're gonna be in the dirt sheets and Devon's up there. He's doing a Club Shay Shay now. So
God, please. Listen, if I'm having consensual whatever with anybody, my phone is gonna be on a nightstand and I'm gonna make sure it's off. Trust me. You ain't gonna be hearing that.
There ain't gonna be no accidental shut on and stuff like that. Now ain't gonna be none of that. Please,
no,
please.
none of that. I can guarantee that.
What do you think it is about?
Let me not say that because accidents happen.
That's a good point. That's a good point. You got to be careful for sure. What do you think it is about pro wrestling and these adult entertainers that it's almost like it goes hand in hand, so to speak? I mean, we know that throughout the history, especially over the past 30 years, there have been a lot of wrestlers who have dated adult entertainers and things like that too. I mean, do you find that there are some parallels between the two worlds, so to speak?
I mean, some would like to say that the adult entertainment world and pro wrestling are very similar. Think about the Attitude Era. The Attitude Era was nothing about. It was all about sex. That's all it was about, and basically, it went hand in hand. I think that's why it got over so well back then, and the two actually connected because they were very similar. WWE and pro wrestling at the time was promoting sex. The adult entertainment world promotes sex, and they all got along.
Do you think with WWE, at least with Raw moving to Netflix, do you think we could even scratch that surface again, or you think that's something they just need to leave alone and let the
No.
past be the past?
With cancel culture and all of that, no, I don't see that happening at all. I see them probably teasing it, but I don't see them actually entering that world ever again. You can't do it. I mean, with the way society is now, it's almost totally impossible.
I know that you're a busy man. I mean, you got your bookings all over the place, and you got the kids that you're always taking them to this, picking them up for that, and school just started back up. But I wonder, are there any current TV shows or anything like that you've been checking out lately?
I look at a lot of the old shows like Martin, The Cosby Show, things like that. I love those shows, The Jeffersons, Good Times. I'm an old school guy. I don't like today's TV. I really don't watch it. But again, I go to BET or TV One, the sister network of BET, and I watch all of the old television shows. I really don't watch anything current. So if you mentioned it, I wouldn't even know. I wouldn't even have an idea what it is.
Now you did drop a name to me though, and I'm going to say it on air because you did drop a name to me though that you're familiar with their work. You were saying something about Tyler Perry before. So are you a fan of Tyler Perry's movies?
Absolutely. Love Tyler Perry's movie. I love the Medea movie. A lot of people don't like it because they feel it's an insult to black people. I don't feel that way at all. I think it's pure entertainment. I take it as pure entertainment. Does everybody in the black and African American black community have a Medea in their family? Absolutely. They do. You're lying if you say you don't. He just brings it to light. Am I going to sit here and say that the things that Cat Williams was saying is true? No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying it's true or isn't true. I don't know the man like that, and I really don't care. All I want to be is entertained by the movies that he put out, and I'm entertained. It makes me laugh. It makes me cry. It makes me feel good. It makes me uneasy at times, and I say uneasy in a good way, in a film way. So I'm not looking at Tyler Perry as the man. I'm looking at Tyler Perry as the director, the writer of the movies that I enjoy to watch, and that's all I care about on that level. I love the Medea series. I love, all of that stuff about those movies, and the Diary of a Young Black Woman, and all of the stuff. Why Did I Get Married? I love all of that stuff, and I enjoy it when I watch it. I watch it over and over again on BET.
This is interesting because you are the son of two pastors, and you grew up in the church. Your mom still has a wonderful, prominent church, which I've been checking out on YouTube and what have you. So good stuff there. I wonder, would you, if the opportunity presented itself, Devon, would you actually act in one of Tyler Perry's productions?
If given the opportunity, hell's yes, I would. I wouldn't wear a dress, but hell's yeah, I would. You ain't gonna have Cat Williams calling me out.
I was gonna say, Cat Williams gonna be all over you now.
I, I would love to be able, but I ain't wearing no dress.
Listen, I'm sure Tyler Perry is very familiar with the WWE and the Dudley boys, especially Devon Dudley. And listen, Tyler, now Devon was Reverend Devon as well. I think there may be some opportunities here for some business to be made. So I'm just putting that out there, Tyler Perry. If you're looking for a big strapping experienced man, this is a TV star. This man has been a TV star for over 30 years. So I mean, there's a lot to tap into here with a guy like Devon Dudley. So I'm throwing it out there. Tyler, holla at your boy. For real, for real. In fact, Devon, if Tyler Perry wants to reach out to you, what's the best way he could do that?
Well, shit, call me number one, but you got to go through Duke first to call me. No, but Testify Devon on Instagram and Testify Devon on Twitter and Facebook as well. And email me and, at Devon Dudley 96 at gmail.com, and I'll answer all emails and things like that for you.
There it is. There it is. It's funny, and it's kind of ironic. There's a great friend of the show by the name of Noah Kinsey. He is a writer and producer and also an actor, and he has done some work with Tyler Perry. So Noah, I know you're listening. Hit me up, brother. Let's talk and let's see if we can connect Tyler and Devon together and see if there's some business to be made there. I think that would be really cool. In fact, Noah, you should be somewhere in the writing room on that project if that's the case. So I'm throwing that out there. I have no apprehension about saying these things, speaking life into existence. That's what we got to do, folks. You got to name it first, manifest it first, and then you never know, it might happen. So definitely, and Tyler, again, if you're listening, Duke Loves Wrestling on Facebook, on Twitter, Duke Loves Wrestling at gmail.com. We will connect you with Devon for sure. He's a big fan of your work, knows your work, man, grew up in the church, was a TV star, already is an established brand. Let's make it happen. That's right. That's right. All right, Devon, it's that time, brother. Let's hear the Devon Dudley word of the week. What do we got here?
Take care of those who you love, because you never know when they're going to be gone. Treat them the way that you want to be treated, and love them unconditionally. Oh, testify.
Take it away, Tony Schiavone.
This is Tony Schiavone, and we're desperately out of time on Duke Loves Wrestling.